A Chinese celebrity blogger who ate a bat in a video which went viral during the coronavirus crisis has apologised as hysteria mounts and the Prime Minister orders Australians stranded in China to be evacuated to Christmas Island. Kobe Bryant's heartbroken widow remains strong for the couple's other 3 daughters as more details emerge about the tragic helicopter crash. And a powerful earthquake rocks the Caribbean. The tremor so strong it could be felt as far as Florida. Hi, I'm Kate Creedon. This is 9 News Watch. Australians trapped in China by the coronavirus to be evacuated and sent for quarantine on Christmas Island. Children and their families will take priority. 600 Aussies have already registered as being in Wuhan and Hubei province.
There is a rather limited window here, and we are moving very, very swiftly to ensure that we can put this plan together and put the operation together. I stress that this will be done on a last-in, first-out basis.
1 million masks will also be released from the national stockpile, and we're being warned travel to China should be reconsidered. The death toll from the virus is now hit 132 with around 6,000 infected. Hong Kong has cut rail and ferry ties with mainland China and halved the number of flights. As children made their way back to school today, some in masks, an important breakthrough was announced in fighting the deadly virus. A team of Australian researchers has managed to duplicate it, an important step in the vaccination process. We'll get more from 9's Brett McLeod shortly. Chinese blogger Wang Menyan has apologised for eating a bat in a video which has sickened millions of viewers. She tucked into the bat at a Wuhan restaurant in the city where the coronavirus first took hold. However, the revolting segment was filmed 3 years ago and she broke her silence on her own website saying, "Sorry everyone." It's the kind of video shot countless times by locals thankful for the relief raining down from the skies. But this flight was not routine. The Canadian C-130 Hercules flies into a smoke cloud in the snowy mountains of New South Wales. The man with the phone tries to follow it but can't see it. We've frozen the image here, but just a few seconds later, the plane can be heard crashing. The shocked man with the phone capturing the explosion that killed 3 US firefighters. At the Richmond Air Base today, family members were escorted onto an army helicopter and taken to the site to see for themselves the devastating aftermath of the crash that killed their loved ones. Investigators remain at the site. Now, I know quite a few dads who like to visit the local Bunnings on a Saturday morning, but now you can stay for the whole weekend. Yes, the hardware store has teamed up with Mercura, announcing plans to open a hotel in Melbourne's eastern suburbs. The bottom 2 floors will be a massive Bunnings warehouse with a 183-room hotel upstairs, as well as a pool and restaurants. Construction is already underway at the site in Doncaster. It's due to open next year, although we're still trying to confirm whether Bunnings' famous sausage sandwiches will be on the room service menu. Returning to our update on the coronavirus, Melbourne researchers say they've come up with what's being described as a game changer in the race to help control the outbreak. 9's Brett McLeod joins me now. Brett, this is a big development.
It's huge. In fact, it's a world first. Well, certainly the first outside of China, because China has had the virus itself, but isn't releasing any of it to other research bodies around the world who want to test it to try to come up ultimately with a vaccine. But researchers here in Australia at the Doherty Institute, which is attached to Melbourne University, since the first Australian victim was confirmed on Friday morning, they've been working around the clock and they've come up with their own version of the virus. The reason this is important, they can start now trying to develop antibodies, antibody testing. That means that people who may have the virus but aren't showing any symptoms can be tested to see if they are carrying it. So that's a significant step. Ultimately, down the track, this could lead to a vaccine. That sort of research now, as a result of what's been going on in Melbourne, is being coordinated through the World Health Organization. And this information and this virus will be given to other organisations around Australia and around the world to start working on those very things.
Now, we heard from the Prime Minister earlier today who said Australians in Wuhan will be evacuated to Christmas Island to be quarantined. What's been the reaction from the community in regards to that move?
Very pleased to be given the opportunity to leave Wuhan after most of them have spent the past 10 days in lockdown. not so thrilled about the idea of having to go to Christmas Island because of the 14 days they'd spent in quarantine there, the lack of information about what they'd be expecting when they get there. It's just not a place many of them thought about when they heard they could be evacuated back to Australia, that in fact they would not be travelling as far as they would like, which is back to the Australian mainland. So I've already heard from one man who said he's seriously going to have to think about this, whether he wants to risk going to Christmas Island or take the chance on staying in Wuhan and perhaps waiting for another opportunity. But the Prime Minister has said that even if they can get one Qantas plane out, there is no guarantee there'll be a second or a third or indeed any others. So I think the Prime Minister is saying if you want to leave, now is the only real opportunity.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. Brett McLeod, thanks for joining us.
No worries, Kate.
To World Watch now, a powerful 7.7 magnitude earthquake has struck in the Caribbean, triggering a tsunami warning as far away as Florida. The quake struck just between Jamaica, the Cayman Islands and Cuba. This man did what he could to try and save the booze at a bottle shop, but unfortunately, it all went to waste. The force opened up dozens of sinkholes on the picturesque islands and turned swimming pools into wave pools.
The earthquake, the earth is shaking from.
Thankfully, there's been no reports of injuries. The protest didn't take too long to erupt in the Middle East after US President Donald Trump announced his new two-state solution peace plan. Israeli flags were set alight after it was proposed that Israel would keep Jerusalem as its capital, plus the Old City and West Bank settlements. The plan not getting the thumbs up in Gaza, despite the chance for Palestine to become an established state with double the territory. Trump making concessions and claiming it was a win-win opportunity for both sides.
There's nothing tougher than this one, but we have to get it done. We have an obligation to humanity to get it done.
With the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu beside him at the White House announcement.
Mr. President, your deal of the century is the opportunity of the century.
Controversial former Wallabies player Israel Folau is headed to France after signing a one-year contract with the Catalans Dragons. This will be the 30-year-old's first return to the field after being sacked by Rugby Australia after he posted homosexual slurs on social media. The signing has already attracted criticism, with openly gay Super League prop Keegan Hurst saying he's shocked and disappointed by the move.
All the work that the people in the game do to push that forward has been completely undermined by Catalan and by the RFL.
A week after losing her husband and teenage daughter, Kobe Bryant's devastated widow Vanessa is reportedly unable to finish a sentence without crying, but is trying to be strong for their other three daughters. The couple were together for 20 years. They married in 2001 when she was just 18 and he was 22. All 9 bodies have now been recovered from the crash site. Federal investigators said today the helicopter was attempting to clear the thick cloud layer when it hit a ravine and fell to the ground below. Meanwhile, one fan has come up with a way to honour Kobe Bryant, and it's got plenty of support already. He started a petition on change.com calling for the NBA to change its iconic logo. The current logo was designed in 1969 and is based on the silhouette of another Lakers legend, Jerry West. He wants it changed to Kobe Bryant's image, and his petition has already got 2.5 million signatures. Now, of all the tributes to Kobe Bryant this week, the most heartfelt we've seen comes from ESPN sports anchor Elle Duncan. Take a look.
He said, "I would have 5 more girls if I could. I'm a girl dad." When it came to sports, he said that his oldest daughter was an accomplished volleyball player and that the youngest was a toddler, so TBD. But that middle one, he said, that middle one was a monster. She's a beast. She's better than I was at her age. She's got it. That middle one, of course, was Gigi. When I reflect on this tragedy and that half an hour that I spent with Kobe Bryant 2 years ago, I suppose that the only small source of comfort for me is knowing that he died doing what he loved the most, being a dad, being a girl dad.
I've watched that at least a dozen times now and still tear up. Chrissy Teigen shared this video with her 28 million followers, and the hashtag #GirlDad is now trending, with proud fathers all over the world posting photos with their daughters. And Ellen DeGeneres reshot her birthday special to include a tearful message to her viewers.
And we got tragic news about Kobe Bryant. and everything changed in a second. And that's what I want to talk about. Life is short and it's fragile, and we don't know how many birthdays we have. So we don't have to have a birthday to celebrate. Just celebrate life. And if you haven't told someone you love them, do it now.
A Maltese Shih Tzu feared stolen has been reunited with its family 2 years and 3 months after it went missing. Baymax, named after the Big Hero 6 Disney character, vanished from the yard in Deer Park, Melbourne in October 2017. The owners thinking their gate had been tampered with. However, he was found wandering the streets of Hoppers Crossing 25 kilometres away in January this year. In such good condition, his old new owners assuming he must have been taken in, but just very, very happy to have him back.
It's pretty gut-wrenching, like the first few weeks, because like I knew that he was so tiny and he couldn't look after himself. But that's when I thought the worst. Like I thought maybe he would have passed or got hit by a car or something.
Now, overnight tennis greats John McEnroe and Martina Navratilova held an on-court protest calling for Margaret Court Arena to be renamed after Yvonne Goolagong. So for today's Your Say, we asked, should we change the name? 34% of you said yes and 66% said no. The comments were very interesting. Now, there's a lively debate taking place on our 9 News Facebook page. You can join the debate now. That is it for today. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the tennis action tonight on 9. 9 News Watch will be back tomorrow at 5:30 Eastern Daylight Savings Time. I'm Kate Creedon. Bye for now.